Welcome to the Wild Type Podcast. I'm Neptune and Chameleon.
I'm Lyssa Lizards, and we're your reptile girlies.
Well, ladies and gents, happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
'Tis the season for all the bunnies and candy.
All the spring, all the things.
It's so funny because it's like Easter's not a candy. Like,
Yeah, no, not at
there's
all.
obviously other things celebrated during Easter besides
For sure.
marshmallow Peeps. But we are so excited. This is our first episode back in the studio.
Yes.
I say in the studio, but everyone knows at this point it's your guest room.
Yeah, it's just my spare bedroom. It's fine.
So if things look a little catty-wonky, it's because we were at Tinley, then we were at Dallas, and we have to transport everything. But we're here.
I personally don't think that the purple lights are exactly correct, but we are rolling with it.
We are winging it. No, it's good. It's always nice to kind of like be back on home turf.
No, truly. And I'm just learning as I get older that I've always known this, actually. This has always been a thing, but I'm not really one for travel and like all of that. So it's so nice to be back home in our space and know exactly where we're at and have all of our stuff put together. We know where everything is again. Nothing's hidden in a bag or in my suitcase or like whatever.
Oh, for sure.
I'm all unpacked.
Also, I think I figured out why things are a little wonky. I think our chairs are more forward.
Oh.
I think we usually sit closer to the wall.
Well, we'll fix it next time, guys.
I was like, why do you? Because I looked this direction. I was like, why do you look
No,
like...
I think you're totally right. I see way more space over here than I usually do.
That's exactly what I noticed too. It wasn't until I turned my head.
We'll fix it next time.
Easy peasy, easy peasy. Well, in the spirit of Easter and egg season and everything else, like reptile eggs.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel like we've been sitting on this topic and strategically.
We have been specifically waiting for Easter and springtime for this purpose.
Yes, because I feel like last time we like gave ourselves minus points because we weren't on it.
Yes.
This time we were on it.
We're even wearing our Peep shirt. And in true fashion, I am rocking Halloween. I'm rocking my Krista Chameleon. She's fabulous. Check her out. It's like a skeleton with corn snakes. So
I love it. I love it. So I feel like we'll do future topics on like reptile eggs as a whole. This one I've been sitting on specifically is the idea or the phenomenon or however you want to phrase it of selling chameleon eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just like a bizarre thing and is like has been around for a couple years now. And someone listening to this is going like, what? You can buy a chameleon egg?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just as concerning as you may think. And we'll get into it.
So like, let's talk about it, right? Like, what are the pros? Some, maybe. What are the cons? Maybe more of those
Quite a few.
than the pros. But I think it's just interesting because no other reptile species does this.
That's like probably my biggest commentary in this like whole topic is the fact that like literally I've never heard of this happening with any other species. We did talk to somebody at Tinley who mentioned it with like other species.
But
like,
it was like a one-off thing. It was like between breeders, they would maybe sell like a snake egg or something. But like you're not going to go to an expo and see snake eggs or turtle eggs or gecko eggs for sale. But you will see chameleon eggs. Yeah. And you can buy them online. And like if you're watching this episode, please don't do that. And please keep listening to understand.
Because I will say on that note of the potential of like breeders like sharing eggs, well, there is like a lot of risk there and we'll talk about all the risks with eggs, but there is some risk there. But like I feel much better about an egg going to a breeder than it does to like Joe Schmo on the street, right?
Yes. So this will be specifically from a pet keeper perspective, not from a breeding perspective. And also for like first time keepers, right? And kind of like the ethics behind selling eggs to pet keepers specifically, like to set the scene. So just like a couple categories. So like with eggs, you're dealing with the incubation process, right? You're not having to deal with mating or egg laying, but you are dealing with the incubation process. And I know firsthand, obviously, because I'm still in the thick of it, and no eggs have hatched. I was about
to say, brief update.
No, nothing to report.
Yes.
No news is sometimes good news. But 6 to 9 months is the general incubation time for these eggs. Some panther eggs, which is typically what's being sold, will go like 12 months or longer.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So from like the keeper standpoint, they get like think something's wrong because the egg isn't hatching.
Which, stressful.
Yes.
Stressful.
And if you're moving, do you have to like move with the egg and everything else?
Or just like as a new keeper, like you're just waiting there. That is like
or how to care for the egg, because you have to keep the humidity levels of like the vermiculite in the appropriate ranges. Like you have to make sure your home doesn't get too hot, too cold. And like, while chameleon eggs do incubate at room temperature, so like that's pretty easy, and I think that's why it probably is appealing to like consider this as an option.
I would be very curious to know what are all the species that do incubate at room temp, and like if it's just chameleons for that reason. Like I'd be curious to know like what the other species are, because I'm pretty sure most snake eggs are like higher, lower, whatever. So I'd be curious to know that, because
I do not know that one. Yes, but chameleon eggs do incubate at room temperature, low 70s in a dark room, in some vermiculite in a little container, and then like 6 to 9 months typically, and then they'll hatch.
So if you breed any reptiles at all, let us know in the comments if you're on YouTube or Spotify too. But let us know
like the temperatures,
what the temperature for incubation is, because I'd be curious to know if maybe that is the reason why it's chameleons that do this. I don't know.
Shouldn't be any of them, but we will get into that. So one of the selling points, because we actually have met the guy who kind of like started all of this at a show.
Yes, we did.
And had a conversation, and feelings were felt. That's all I'm going to say on that. But like I overheard him like pitching these eggs to passerbyers, whatever. And he's like, the pro of the long incubation time is you have time to get the enclosure set up and like do your research and everything else, which I don't disagree with. Like that is a valid point, but you can still do all of those things.
I was going to say, I would even argue that it's better to do that without actually having the animal or the egg in the first place.
Yeah, because then you have no pressure.
So like, what's the pro? Because it's the same pro as with getting a baby.
That's true. Okay, I guess it's not really a pro, but it's like a net zero. Like there's no, I can see the logic somewhat behind that.
I can understand why they make it a selling point, but
I don't even think it's great though, because the amount of people who end up in my DMs because they like bought the egg and they're like, hey, how do I care for this? So they Google how to care for a chameleon. Lo and behold, they stumble across my videos, right? Yep. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. This is what I was signing up for. Yes.
This much detail.
Expensive, the space requirement, like everything else that goes into it. And then they're like, oh my gosh, like this was way more than the guy at the booth who sold this to me was. Because they're like, oh, it's so easy, blah, blah, blah. You know, all this. And then now you have an egg.
Well, it's like,
what do you do now? You're in it.
Well, and I think sometimes, like, you know, when you're a breeder, and for you, it's totally easy to hatch out an egg because you've been doing this for however many years, because you know how to take care of the eggs.
And you have the infrastructure, right? Yes. You have the enclosures, you have the knowledge,
you have all the supplies.
The support. Yeah.
Yeah, you know all the temperatures, you know all the diet issues, you know all the different things. So like, you're totally right. It's super easy for you. That's really cool for you.
And a lot of times, these are people who have never had a pet reptile. This is their introduction to the hobby. So they're learning what UVB is, what supplementation is. Like, we're dealing with arboreal enclosures. We're dealing with screen enclosures. We're dealing with misting systems. Like, there are so many nuances with it that, like, that's just a lot for any keeper. And you didn't even know that's what you were signing up for prior to making this purchase. Right. And like, yes, you have time because it's not like it's going to hatch tomorrow. But like, if you're like, oh my gosh, this is way more than I was wanting to do, like, what are your options?
Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
You can't rehome an egg.
No.
Like, that's not a thing. I
even thought about that.
I give it back.
Imagine like a Craigslist post, like rehoming chameleon
It's egg. On there, I'm sure.
No.
I'm sure it's on the internet.
That's awful. Ugh.
So also with the egg, in like, this is the con, is like, you don't know if you're getting a male or a female.
Honestly, especially with chameleons who lay infertile eggs as females. Like, absolutely. Are you kidding? That's like truly one of the biggest cons.
And a lot of people want a male. Yeah. And then like, I get there's some excitement. It's like a little gender reveal of like, is it going to be a boy or a girl?
For sure. Yeah.
But like, you have to understand the nuances of owning a female chameleon, and that panther and veileds specifically will lay infertile clutches,
Yep.
even if they've never seen a male,
Yep.
been with a male, nada, like they could still lay them.
There's a reason why like most pet keepers prefer to get males. Because,
and that's not even the looks. That's just solely like from an egg laying perspective.
Well, and that's the case with other species too. Like for snakes, females are bigger. A lot of people prefer. I specifically got a male yellow anaconda for that reason. And it's like there are a lot of reasons why you pick a specific sex of animal. Like
which we have done an episode on male versus female.
Yes, we have.
Check it out. But that's the thing with an egg is like you don't know what you're signing up for. So you need to be prepared and okay with
either way,
both scenarios.
Yeah. Which, let's be honest, most first-time keepers probably aren't.
Yeah. That's, again, why it's not recommended.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm just like poo-pooing on any of the pros or any
No,
of the...
this is good though, because like I'm trying to play like devil's advocate.
And I'm like, no, you're right.
No, and like to be so for real, like I do not recommend this. And anytime someone approaches me with the egg, I'm like, okay, you already bought it. So I'm going to help you out as much as I can. And to be honest, guys, it was a big reason why I even bred my chameleons in the first place, because this has been such like a big phenomenon like that and trend that we've been seeing specifically in the chameleon hobby. And so I've been getting the SOS, my egg's not hatching, SOS, my hatchling died, SOS, SOS, SOS. And I'm like, I only know what I know from what I've learned and like seen and read, but I don't have firsthand experience. So I'm like, how can I best help these keepers? I'm going to raise my own clutch. Right. And I'm going to do it right. I'm going to raise them individually. I'm going to show you how you can like ethically small batch breed, you know, without having to like purchase an egg, and then hopefully teach others, not only through my experiences, but also like how you can do it. But I've been keeping chameleons for like 7 years now, and this is my very first time even attempting to like do this.
We just brushed right on past that. That's crazy. 7 years.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Anyway, sorry. that caught my ears, and I was like, dang, it has been a long time.
A lot of experience, and it's not just my experience, it's the hundreds if not thousands of keepers. So it's like really like tenfold. Which is like just special about being on the internet. But anyways, so like here's the thing. So you have your egg and it hatches, right?
Now
Which
what?
is like, speaking firsthand, very stressful. So and the amount of people who have DM'd me saying that they threw out their egg because it didn't hatch on like the date that it said. Someone found a chameleon in the trash can.
I was literally just picturing that, and now I'm gonna cry.
Yep. How many didn't survive? Anyways, so like,
I'm literally tearing up. That's not okay.
Do not recommend. So anyways, okay, so now it hatches. Does anyone know like how small a hatchling is?
Oh my God, they're so tiny.
Itty bitty peanuts, like the size of like the first nub of your pinky.
And the difference in care between a baby that tiny and a 3 or 4 month old baby, which are also still small, by the way.
Little peanuts.
Little tiny nuggets. They're still itty bitty when they're like 3 or 4 months old.
Yeah.
I would have lost my mind caring for a hatchling.
Yes.
It is nothing like caring for a 3, 4, 5 month old baby that you can buy.
No, the way that I like to equate it to is like there's a reason why like we wait till puppies are like 8, 9, 10 weeks old before we bring them home. Yes, they have to be like fed by their mother, whatever. But like they are stronger, they are healthier, they are more resilient, and they're set up for success. Same is true with a hatchling chameleon versus a 3 to 4 month old.
Well, okay, this kind of gets into like the breeding side that's like a little bit sad, but it's like the reality is in a clutch or a litter or whatever, it's not always accurate that like every single one can survive. So when you're selling all of the eggs, statistically speaking, you're going to sell an egg that isn't going to make it, and you're going to have somebody whose soul is crushed, and then you're responsible for that.
Their policy is just send another egg. You get another one. You get another one. You're like, and like, what does that tell you about the ethics behind this, right? It's a numbers game, because it is an investment. As someone who's going through it, like it is thousands of dollars to get your enclosures and your whole infrastructure if you are individually raising every single baby as you should, right? That's expensive. You have to then feed them and raise them for 3 to 4 months before you can even consider selling them. It is more expensive to ship them because they take up more room. Like it is more costly and timely. So what's easier and cheaper? Sell an egg, right? Oh, it didn't hatch, didn't survive. Give another egg. Right.
I'm trying really hard to control how much my blood is boiling, but it's fine. Everything's fine.
And that's okay. Right. Like we're supporting businesses doing that because it's cool to hatch your own egg and you get to experience it. Like that just is like not okay.
I don't have a lot I could say right this second because I'm just getting a little more fired up, but it's fine.
So anyways, so going back to like the differences of like hatchling care. So like hatchlings are itty bitty.
They're so small.
So like you cannot go to Petco, PetSmart and buy bugs for them.
Even the smallest crickets that you can buy at most pet stores are still not even small enough for these animals. So like the diet itself isn't even readily available to these people.
So you have to be having flightless fruit flies and pinhead crickets and like bean beetles.
Yeah.
Right? And like that's not food that's easily available. So you have to like go online or breed it yourself.
Well,
or
like you've been having to like, it takes what, like 2 weeks to get a fruit fly culture started up, right? So like you've been dealing with that. That's not something that you could get immediately. When your eggs started sweating, you were like, oh shoot, I got to figure out my cultures.
But I had a plan because I had a local reptile shop that does in fact carry flightless fruit flies. So like I knew, and so I'm like, I'm good.
But I would argue that the majority of people aren't that lucky.
Correct. Or even know what to feed them. Right. They're just assuming you can go to Petco, PetSmart and like buy some crickets, and that's just not the reality. And then like the quantity of bugs that are being fed is very costly. You cannot really leave like because they have to be eating
all the time
daily. How you set up a hatchling enclosure has a lot of nuances. Like typically we don't use heat on a hatchling enclosure because that's too hot for them. Like any sort of heat source, like their UVB bulb is warm enough. Now you could put your hatchling in a 2x4. That's what Bill Strands recommends. And if you have an egg, like that would be the way to go because you can provide those gradients. From a breeder's perspective, we can't have 45 2x4s like just chilling. So like
that would be wild.
If we're going to prioritize individually raising, then we make sacrifices in the amount of space, and that's just kind of like a give and take that we have to navigate and deal with. But like that's going to be a lot harder. And then keeping it alive, right? The nuances of a hatchling, they're just less forgiving because they're fragile, right?
But also, reminder, in case anybody forgot, chameleons are also one of the least forgiving species.
Correct.
In general.
Even
We're not talking
3-month-old,
like forget the hatchlings. Just the normal standard practice of getting a chameleon at 3 or 4 or 5 months old, like that time frame, they are still less forgiving. So now you're adding a hatchling into the mix, which is even less forgiving. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah. And I was just talking to one of our breeder friends, and they were saying like chameleons are one of those species that don't come out with like 2 heads or 2 bodies or things like other species sometimes do. But like what goes wrong with chameleons is like either the egg doesn't hatch at all, or it's after the fact, and then they'll die like a couple days, couple weeks, even like a couple months after being born. So like you have to be very like you can do everything right, and like they still don't make it. And kind of to what you were saying, like the sheer quantity of eggs that are laid, like chameleons lay 20 to 30 eggs at a time, and it's very much like because they're not all expected to survive. Same with, like, think of sea turtles, right? Like they lay all of those, and then they're on their own in the ocean.
There's a certain percentage statistically that makes it to the ocean because of predators, because of whatever, all the different things.
So they lay that many eggs in the hopes that X amount survive.
And just like chameleons, they have a large quantity of eggs, like that. This is how biology works.
Yes. So like there's just all these nuances, right? That like, while I think as someone who's like personally about to experience all this firsthand, like I have so much knowledge and experience, and even I'm still like whatever.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, like, well, just because she's whatever doesn't mean I get that. Obviously, make your own choices, but set yourself up for success, and more importantly, set your animal up for success, right? And like, buy from a good breeder. If no one else is selling eggs, like what does that say?
Maybe let's ask the question, why?
Right.
Why? I wonder why they don't do this.
Yeah. And then the ethics behind all this, which I feel like we've kind of touched on, but like because that just popped in my head of like, if no one else is doing this, like what does that say? Same with like individually raising, like can you group raise chameleons? Sure, just like you can keep a snake in a tub, but like that doesn't mean that's like the best thing to do from a pet keeper's perspective, right? So like just because breeders swap eggs does not mean from a pet keeper that's what we should be doing. Can we just give some love to Pangea Reptile?
I mean, always. My geckos cannot get enough of their gecko food. Mine are actually pretty picky sometimes, but mine have never turned down the watermelon and fig and insect flavors. Pangea has so many flavors that even your pickiest gecko will find one they love.
And quick shout out, because it's been such a fun project to work on my chameleon kits with Pangea. We've been able to provide amazing homes for hundreds of chameleons. With everything you need bundled into one easy kit, it's your one-stop shop for all your chameleon needs.
And if that's not enough, we're always shopping their cork bark and feeding ledges too. You can find everything you need at PangeaReptile.com. Hey reptile girlies, by now you've heard us talk all about Scratches, the social app that helps exotic pet owners like us find their people.
You can add photos of you and all your scaly babies, set your filter to reptiles, and start scrolling through your local pet parents who get it. Think of Scratches as your way of avoiding the ever-looming "so do you have any pets?" question. Whether you're looking for friendship, romance, or someone who can pet sit your critters, your community is just a new match away.
Download Scratches today and start connecting with reptile keepers in your area. Available on iOS and Android.
And there are actually some projects happening for small batch breeding in the chameleon hobby for these species that aren't super common in the pet trade, but they're trying to get them like going.
Yeah.
So in order to make that more sustainable, so someone doesn't have to have like 30 to 50 like eggs if there's multiple clutches, they're having the eggs laid and then finding experienced chameleon keepers to take five, to take five, to take five. So then they can give them 2x4s.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? Because
I love that.
it's either the quantity or like the size of the enclosure. So if you only have 5 babies, you could probably put them all in 2x4s.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? But you can't do that if you're raising all 45 of them. So they are shipping the eggs and giving them to other people who are experienced and are very much like signing up to be a part of these projects with the goal of trying to have these like larger enclosures.
That's such like a community focused like situation. And
Right.
I love that so much.
That is completely different.
That is so different. That is a very different situation. And I support that entirely.
That is completely different than someone who stumbles across an egg at an expo, buys it, having zero clue what they're signing up for.
Yep.
And when we went to that show and I saw someone carrying 3 boxes of these little eggs, and I was like, oh, like, I'm trying to play cool. I'm like, congratulations. Like, are you familiar with chameleon care? They're like, no, I just texted my friend a picture and they said they wanted to and I wanted one. I'm like, you have no idea. I was like, here's my card. Go check out.
Take a sticker. Check out my website.
YouTube channel. Please watch. And like for anyone who is tumbling across this video because you already purchased an egg, I just want to say like congratulations and like welcome to the journey. But just recognize that you're in it for like this is going to be a challenge.
Yes.
And you cannot afford to make mistakes and you cannot afford to mess this up. And like please take advantage of the resources that are out there. Bill Strahan Chameleon Academy has a whole playlist. Like I mentioned, I'm going through this firsthand like for a big reason so that I can be experienced enough to like help coach people through this. So just know like this is not a species you can cut corners with.
Yeah. But so congratulations. Good luck. Use all the resources. We are happy to be some of those resources. But
and if you're deciding, and if you want a chameleon and you're deciding should I get an egg or not, I hope this brings to light some of the challenges that come with purchasing an egg. And like versus if you bought a 3 to 4 month old, then you could put them in a larger enclosure to begin with, and like that would be a lot more manageable. You can put a heat bulb on them. You can go to your Petco, PetSmart if you wanted to. Like there's definitely more options online, but like I get the convenience of it. Like you could feed your chameleon and they're gonna be more resilient. But to your point earlier, not very resilient, but a little bit more than a hatchling.
If my face doesn't say it all. I mean,
do you have anything else to add?
I just think it's something that is just so interesting, and I personally will just never understand why it's chameleons that this is happening to. But
they're like the worst species to try and do this with.
That's what I mean. Like it's like that of all the species that somebody could do this with. Like I just don't understand why that is what has been put out into the universe. I just don't quite grasp it.
It might be the room temperature thing. You might be onto something
literally,
with that.
I'm probably going to do some Googling after this, but please let us know in the comments because I am very, very curious about if that is a big part of this.
Yeah, they're just not recommended. No. If you want to hatch a chameleon egg, live vicariously through my videos. Okay, 100%. I'll post lots of baby pictures.
Or go through the normal process, learn a lot, do a lot of like years of experience, figure that out, then breed, then go the route that you've gone. Like that, nobody's saying that you can't like have the desire to be a breeder. If you want to go through the like that process, learn about it, figure it out, talk to breeders, work on it, become a breeder, then you get to have that experience. I think like that's the traditional route that people should go, not just like one off.
And it's really to like set you guys up for success, right? Like
Yes.
the big reason why I
And
want
the
to
animal.
talk on this is one, because like I'm the one who gets the messages.
Yes.
Like I'm the one who gets the like really sad messages, or the like the panic, the fear,
Yeah, the freak out.
you know, and like I have to be the one to tell them like this is the reality of the situation. Like let me help
Yeah.
you, but like this is
Yeah.
like sometimes the challenges that come with hatchlings.
Right.
And when I had approached the guy who like sold the eggs and like said this, I was like, well, what is your response to like all the people who end up in my DMs? He's like, just send them my way. I'll give them a new egg. I'm like, that's not. But people are attached to these animals. They care. They're invested, right? Like these are living animals, and like we can't just replace them with something else. Like that's just not cool.
Yeah. Well, and I would even argue, trying to choose what I say wisely, I would even argue that perpetrates a bad mentality in the hobby of like, oh, it's just replaceable.
Disposable.
Oh, it's no big deal. Like,
Yeah.
So I don't love that for the industry as a whole. I don't like that that's the message that's being spread out there by that in like situation. So
Yeah.
those are my thoughts.
I've said what I said though. I think it's food for thought though, and
Yeah.
definitely noodle on it, and like always open to hearing your guys' experience. And like there are success stories, right, of people who have been able to raise their eggs and hatch their eggs. They've done it a couple of times. They like have their chameleons. Like in hindsight, a lot of them say like they wouldn't have chosen that, but because they already were in it, then like honestly wish you all the best.
100%.
Right?
Like here's the thing. Like at the end of the day, I just want everybody who wants a chameleon to have a happy, healthy chameleon. That is literally all that I care about. And I just hope and like support anybody who wants to make that happen in the right way, in the best way. And I just don't think this is it.
There are success stories.
Yes.
But you have to gamble and run the risk that there's a chance for sure, and a higher chance of like things not working out in your favor than if you wait until they're already established.
Just be prepared.
Yeah.
Truly.
Anyways, that was a lot.
I feel like that was a little cathartic, right?
Yes and no. No, I'm nervous what the internet's going to say, but it's fine.
That's fine.
So we wanted to do Smash or Pass Easter candy. If you guys remember, we did this last year, and that brought up the whole like Peeps thing. But I do think it's fun, and I'm interested to see what your answer is for Peeps now that you've been able to try.
Yeah, now that I don't like hate them all, now that I know that I like some of them,
different flavors.
Yeah.
So we'll try and do like just like real quick, whatever your gut reaction is.
All right.
So Cadbury Creme Eggs, and those are like the big ones.
Yeah. The number one.
Smash.
Shot of it. Oh yeah. Oh, we're not ranking. Smash or pass. My brain still isn't operating
like
post-expos, guys.
But that counts as a smash for sure.
100% smash. That is my all-time favorite Easter candy. I get those off-season. I get those any chance that I can get them. If I see them, I'm going to get them.
Have you had the Halloween ones?
Yes. They have like the little green.
The green
goo. Yeah, that's a good one.
Dang, those Cadbury Creme Eggs though.
No, they're addicting.
So good.
And
good.
They also have like the caramel ones, which are good too, but the cream has my heart forever.
Yeah, and those are like such a bizarre candy. But
and I remember being a kid getting those because, like I said, this has truly been. I would even argue this might be one of my favorite like top tier candies out of like all the candies. That's why I'm like, if we were doing blind rank it, like one without a shadow of a doubt.
Wow.
I remember being a kid opening it up and seeing the little like yellow like egg yolk color. It was the coolest thing to me.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought
cool.
it was so cool. And now it's like, okay, like I know what it is. But it was so cool as a kid. So it just really sticks in your brain.
They sell them as 4-packs, but then they also sell them as an individual egg. And trying to scan the barcode.
Oh, because it's all jacked up on the aluminum.
And I'm like, who thought this through? Right? Like, anyways, yes, smash for me, smash for you. Reese's peanut butter eggs.
So these are actually my dad's favorite because my dad prefers the ratio of peanut butter to chocolate to be higher peanut butter. I do not. I'm
passing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to smash, but know that I'm in between smash or pass very much.
No, I won't even buy them.
Oh, really?
No. Like, I love Reese's peanut butter cups.
Me too, yeah.
But the chocolate on the Reese's eggs is this like soft.
Yes, it's different.
Chocolate. It's not the crunchy, like
it's not
snap.
the hard chocolate.
Yes. My favorite are the Reese's peanut butter cup thins.
Oh, really?
Because that was also a different chocolate to peanut butter ratio, right? So I'll do an OG Reese's peanut butter cup or the thins. I just like the snap of the chocolate.
I would argue that too, but I am still going to say Smash just because I do enjoy them.
Nah, it falls in the same as like the Reese's Trees and Hearts that they do it's like their holiday line. And it's just not the same chocolate.
Yeah.
So pass for me. Smash for you. Jelly beans.
Oh, hard pass.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I'm smashing them.
The only ones that I will say smash on is the Jolly Rancher jelly beans.
Those are good.
But like just regular no. Pass.
No, I won't do what is it, like branches?
Brock's,
something like that.
It's called? Something
yeah,
along
those don't like those. But I like Jelly Belly jelly beans.
Yes.
I like Starburst jelly beans. I like the Jolly Rancher jelly beans.
The Starburst ones are good. I'll give them that. My
bougie jelly beans, to be clear, not the cheapo.
Yeah, no,
whatever ones I won't eat.
I like the Starburst ones. I like the Jolly Rancher ones, but that's it.
They have a Starburst All Reds jelly bean pack.
Oh, that's new.
Because I don't really like grape flavored candy.
Yeah.
So I skipped the purple ones. But.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, marshmallow Peeps.
So are we talking the originals?
The originals.
I am going to pass.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that has not changed.
So I'm a smash. However, follow-up question of the flavors that we tried. We know Dr. Pepper. Would you smash those?
I would definitely smash Dr. Pepper. I would definitely smash the Rice Krispies.
Okay.
Those are my top two. The other ones I would still pass on.
Even the sour watermelon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is good. But look at what we've done.
Look at what we've accomplished.
We got you on two flavors.
We've grown. We've changed. We've learned. We have new favorites.
Because it's like the two that are like name brand, like, branded.
Yeah, the branded ones.
You still haven't tried the hot tamale ones, but
I will probably hate those.
And they're very specific.
Yeah.
Specific flavor.
Well, I don't love cinnamon. So
yeah, I could get that.
Yeah.
Okay, Lindt chocolate bunnies.
Okay, those are very good. I'm a big fan of Lindt chocolate anything.
Yes,
big
those
fan.
are the ones that are in like the little tin foil.
My favorite chocolate is probably Dove and Lindt and Ghirardelli. Those three.
I like those because they're hollow. So again, they've got a nice snap to them.
I'm a white chocolate girl, not the milk chocolate. I prefer dark chocolate or white chocolate.
Oh, I was gonna put this on there.
Oh, I ruined it.
It's fine. Continue your thought though.
Basically, just in my family, anytime my family did like chocolate or candies for Easter or any holiday, frankly, I was always the kid that got the white chocolate in my basket.
My mom listens to the podcast and she knows I'm also the kid that got the white chocolate.
Yes.
Every time. I was the only one that ended up with the white chocolate bunny.
I think I said this on our like holiday episode too of like
the white chocolate
hot chocolate. Yeah. I'm white chocolate through and through.
That's so interesting because you're not a big sweet tooth person, but white chocolate is just sweeter.
A little sweeter.
It is sweeter than milk chocolate. And so like that makes sense for like why I really liked it. But like
I do love a good dark chocolate. Like I love dark chocolate, especially if it's got raspberry filling. I'm like,
because I was gonna smash or pass a white chocolate bunny, milk chocolate, or dark chocolate.
Okay.
So you're smashing the white chocolate.
Yes. I'm passing on the milk chocolate and I will smash the dark chocolate.
Okay, so I will smash white and milk, but then pass on the dark.
Yeah, that checks out. I could see that for you. That I could have guessed that one.
Yeah. Okay, next up we've got M&M's Easter edition.
Hard pass on all M&M's always.
I did not know this about you.
I don't like M&M's. I've never liked M&M's.
Any of them? Because they've come out with some like crazy flavors.
I haven't tried a lot of the crazy flavors. Maybe that's next on our candy
peanut
taste
butter
testing.
M&M's.
I'm just
my favorite.
I don't like peanut butter enough for it.
Okay, then don't eat those.
I do weirdly like the peanut M&M's.
Okay.
Not the peanut butter, but the peanut.
Pretzel M&M's, not bad. Caramel M&M's, bad.
I've tried those.
So disappointing.
I am a sucker for caramel anything. And
it's
those
like
are
hard caramel.
It's the gross caramel.
No.
It's not the ooey gooey. Like I want like the Ghirardelli ooey gooey caramel.
I want my M&M to like pop.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like
oozy. Yes. Yes.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Same page.
Wild type caramel M&M knockoffs coming to you soon. No, those are good. Okay, Hershey's Chocolate Kisses Easter edition.
Unsure. Didn't know that was a thing.
I'm only giving Hershey's a hard time because it's literally their Hershey's Kiss and they just put different wrapper on it.
You're right.
But they do this for every holiday.
Yeah, I think during like the Christmas holiday season, I think they usually do like
They
the
did
peppermint.
Grinch. Oh, I'm talking like chocolate. But they do have the peppermint candy cane ones. Those are pretty good.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Valentine's will have like strawberry cream. Typically this time of year they just have the chocolate. I haven't seen them come out with crazy flavors, but it'll have like the rainbow tie-dye wrapper or whatever.
Right.
But if you had Hershey Kisses, OG chocolate, milk chocolate in your basket, are you excited?
No.
Pass.
Yeah, hard pass.
Smash for me. I love a good Hershey's Kiss.
I honestly, Hershey's chocolate is gross to me these days.
She's too bougie.
Yeah, sorry.
Because if you like your Ghirardelli,
I do,
and that is a different tier.
That's
than Hershey's.
That's Logan's old apartment used to be like right next door to like CVS, and we would go and get our snacks there from there all the time, and they just had the Ghirardelli, and I would just always get that. So now I'm
You're
sold
hooked.
on Dove or Ghirardelli or Lindt. Those are really my three.
So I haven't had these Snickers eggs.
I have also not had these, but I would be very down to try them.
Okay,
That sounds
I'm a
real
pass.
good.
I don't like nuts in my desserts.
Okay.
As a general rule.
Okay.
I will have nuts separately.
Yeah.
I just don't think they have a place in desserts.
Okay.
Especially brownies. Whoever put nuts in brownies.
Yeah, I don't like nuts and brownies. I would very much agree with that. Not a big fan of nuts and brownies.
So I only eat a Snickers if I'm in like desperate times.
I like Snickers. Oh no, you know what? The ones that I'm thinking of are not Snickers. The ones I'm thinking of are the Milky Way dark ones.
Oh, the
or
Milky Way
whatever.
like delights.
Yeah,
or whatever they are.
But the
I forget what they're called.
Specifically the darker one, the one that's like purple and silver and black.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a dark chocolate Milky Way.
I'm into that one. That one I'm really into, but not Snickers as much. Yeah.
Pass for me.
Yeah, same.
Okay, these are Cadbury chocolate mini eggs. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, pass.
So smash those, although I think I ate too many of them and now I think I like kind of can't eat them anymore.
Developed like an allergy.
Kinda. I ate a lot of them. And they're like a hard shell with like the chocolate.
Yeah.
And I ate so many, and because the shell, it's a lot harder than an M&M shell.
Yes.
And that sucker, if you eat enough, will like mess up the roof of your mouth.
Oh, currently the roof of my mouth is a little bit messed up from the expos because I got some of that freeze dried candy and I ate it all, and now it's all my.
I just finished mine, and what is it? Friday, and we got that Saturday. So it took me a good week.
Full week. I got the peach rings and the Nerds clusters, and they're so freaking good.
I got the peach rings and the gummy worms.
The peach rings are always my favorite.
Sour gummy worms. Huh?
No, those ones are really good too. Big fan.
No, the Cadbury eggs I like ripped through.
Yeah.
A lot. Like the whole pack, probably like 10 of those.
See, I don't like those. No.
So many.
Pass.
Now I'm like, I think it'll be a couple years before I'll like eat them again.
Pass on my end.
Okay, last one, robin eggs.
Okay, where I grew up, that's like so not. I don't really think I've ever even. I might have had like one or two of them in my life. I don't think I've ever really like had them. Yeah, I know what they are because we've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
But that was like so not a part of my childhood that I'm going to say pass, but simply because that's like
you're
not,
inexperienced.
Yeah, that's not something I'm like super familiar with.
Okay, so I will smash those. However, because it's a Whopper, right?
It's a Whopper. I didn't realize it was.
It's a candy coated Whopper. Like they're with the Whopper brand.
Then I'm a pass because I don't like Whoppers.
Like malt stuff.
Nope.
Yeah. So that's what they are.
Hard pass.
They're Whoppers with a candy coating.
Nope.
So if you're familiar with Whoppers, a true Whopper has the crunch.
Yes.
A phony Whopper, a dud, is like it's squishy.
Yes.
Right? So there's nothing worse than a robin egg that has a hard shell and then it's a squish.
Oh.
When you're expecting the crunch.
Nope.
So if there's a way that I could guarantee that all
that
of
they
my
were all
eggs,
crunchy.
then I'm on board 1,000%.
Yeah, because that's disappointing. If you eat a few and they're really good, and then you get
spit
one,
it out.
Yeah, that
I'm
sucks.
like,
it's like me with the jelly beans or the gross
Ow.
the Peeps I didn't like.
Yeah, we're my funny bone.
Girl, we're way too close to all this stuff over here.
That got me good.
We did not set up the studio correctly, but it's fine.
We're here. We're here and we made it. So yeah, I'm a smash. Smash Whoppers.
I'm a pass.
Or the robin eggs.
Yeah, pass.
Yeah, those are good. No. Okay, well that's what we have. How are we on time? I think this is a good spot to wrap up the episode. So happy Easter.
Yeah.
I feel like the first topic was heavy.
Just a little.
heavy, but necessary, because I think it's good to talk about this stuff, right?
I think it's great. And I think at the bare minimum, all I hope is that it helps somebody. Even if they do decide to go to the chameleon egg route, like that's totally fine if that is your prerogative and if you feel confident. But now you're making
an educated decision.
That's literally all that I care about, is that people know what they're set up for. They're kind of prepared. They've been given some advice. They've been given a little bit of prep. Like, as long as they know what they're getting into and they're not stressed about it and they feel confident about it, good for you. I hope you and your baby chameleon all the best, truly. So
she said it. I have nothing to add to that. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. As always, you can check us out on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to follow us on social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. I guess that kind of like counts.
Yeah, for sure.
You can follow me, Neptune the Chameleon.
And me everywhere at Lyssa's Lizards.
That is a wrap on our Easter episode, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye, girlies.